Have you ever wondered if an ordinary Kennedy half-dollar sitting in your pocket, an old coin jar, or a forgotten family collection could be hiding a story that collectors would love to discover? Today, we're counting down 10 Kennedy half-dollars that have captured the attention of coin enthusiasts because of their history, unusual characteristics, and the excitement they create in the collecting world. Some of these coins look worn, dirty, or completely ordinary, but that's exactly what makes the search so thrilling. Welcome back to Hidden Coin Millions, the channel where we uncover fascinating US coins, hidden collecting secrets, and remarkable stories that most people never notice. In today's video, the suspense builds with every coin as we explore what makes each one worth a closer look. We'll reveal important details about their history, composition, collector appeal, and the kinds of features that experienced numismatists search for. And don't skip ahead, because the most surprising coin on today's list appears at the very end. Imagine finding a Kennedy half-dollar that everyone else overlooks, only to discover it has an unusual feature or an incredible history that makes collectors take notice. That's why thousands of people across America continue checking their change, searching old collections, and examining forgotten coin albums. Sometimes the smallest detail can completely change how a coin is viewed. So stay with me until the end, because this countdown is packed with fascinating discoveries, collector tips, and hidden details that every coin enthusiast should know. If you're passionate about rare US coins, hit the like button, subscribe to Hidden Coin Millions, and turn on the notification bell because we bring you freshly updated videos every day featuring remarkable coins, collecting stories, and hidden treasures waiting to be discovered. Now, take a close look at your own Kennedy half-dollars, because coin number 10 might completely change the way you look at your collection. Let's begin. Coin number 1. As the mystery finally reaches its peak, it's time to reveal why collectors continue talking about this fascinating 1973 Kennedy half-dollar with the Philadelphia P Mint issue. Throughout this journey, you've seen how an ordinary-looking half-dollar covered with black spots, brown dots around the edges, and years of circulation can hide an incredible story. While many people immediately dismiss coins that appear dirty or worn, experienced collectors know that appearance alone never tells the complete story. Sometimes the coins that look the least impressive have traveled through decades of American history, surviving countless hands before finally catching the attention of someone who understands what to look for. The 1973 Kennedy half-dollar represents an important chapter in modern American coinage. By the early 1970s, Kennedy half-dollars were no longer circulating as heavily as they once had. Many were quietly stored away in drawers, jars, and family collections. Yet thousands still entered circulation, picking up scratches, dirt, oxidation, and natural toning over decades of use. Those black spots and brown edge toning can develop from long-term environmental exposure, and while they do not automatically increase value, they often remind collectors that every coin carries a unique life story. Every mark on the surface is evidence that this piece has survived for more than half a century. One of the reasons collectors spend so much time examining Kennedy half-dollars is that certain dates, mint varieties, striking characteristics, unusual errors, and exceptional preservation can dramatically affect desirability. A coin that looks ordinary at first glance may deserve a much closer inspection under proper lighting and magnification. Small differences in strike quality, die characteristics, surface preservation, or uncommon minting varieties can separate an ordinary coin from one that attracts serious collector interest. This is exactly why experienced numismatists never rush when examining Kennedy half-dollars. They inspect the portrait of President John F. Kennedy, the lettering, the date, the mint characteristics, the eagle on the reverse, and every tiny detail that casual observers usually ignore. Some collectors even compare multiple examples side by side, because subtle differences can become easier to recognize when viewed together. Patience and knowledge often make the difference between overlooking a collectible coin and identifying one that deserves professional evaluation. If you ever discover a 1973 Kennedy half-dollar, resist the temptation to clean it. Cleaning can permanently damage a coin's original surface and may reduce its appeal to collectors. Instead, store it carefully in a protective holder and consider having it examined by a reputable coin expert if you believe it has unusual characteristics, an error, or exceptional preservation. Proper handling helps preserve whatever collector value the coin may have. Now for the moment you've been waiting for. The valuation mentioned for this example is a claimed value of $148,000, not a generally established current market price for a typical circulated 1973 with P. Kennedy half-dollar. Actual values depend on authentication, condition, rarity, documented mint errors, grading, provenance, and real auction results. If a coin truly possesses rare characteristics verified by experts, it can attract significant attention from advanced collectors. The biggest lesson from today's coin is simple. Never judge a Kennedy half-dollar by its appearance alone. The next time you receive one in change, discover one in an old collection, or find one tucked away in a forgotten drawer, slow down and inspect it carefully. You may not have found a fortune, but you may have found a fascinating piece of American history that deserves a closer look. If you enjoyed today's journey into hidden coin discoveries, make sure you subscribe to Hidden Coin Millions and turn on notifications, because this channel brings you freshly updated videos every day, exploring remarkable US coins, fascinating collecting stories, and valuable tips that help you become a smarter collector. Our countdown has only just begun, and the next Kennedy half-dollar on today's list may surprise you even more. Stay with us, because the excitement is only getting started. Coin number 2. The countdown is getting even more unbelievable. And now, we're looking at a coin that almost everyone believes is too new to ever become valuable. That's exactly why this next Kennedy half-dollar has shocked so many collectors. A 2023 Kennedy half-dollar with a Denver mint mark may seem like just another modern coin, but experienced collectors know that modern coins can still hide fascinating varieties, unusual striking characteristics, or exceptional preservation that make them worth a closer look. If you ever find one with unusual surface marks or other distinctive features, don't rush to spend it before taking a careful look. This particular coin tells an interesting story. It carries the D mint mark, showing it was struck at the Denver Mint. At first glance, the black and green spots and worn appearance might make someone think it has no collector appeal. However, collectors often inspect coins like this because unusual toning, environmental exposure, or other characteristics can make them worthy of further examination. While these spots alone do not create rarity, they remind collectors that every coin has a history and deserves a careful inspection before being dismissed. The Kennedy half-dollar series remains one of the most recognized modern U.S. coin programs. First introduced in 1964 to honor President John F. Kennedy, the series has become a favorite among collectors for its historical importance, elegant design, and the excitement of discovering unusual examples. Even modern issues continue to attract attention because collectors search for high-grade coins, striking varieties, and genuine mint errors that can command premiums. The 2023 with D. Kennedy half-dollar is struck in a copper-nickel-clad composition over a pure copper core. It has a diameter of approximately 30.6 millimeters and weighs about 11.34 grams. The obverse features the familiar portrait of President Kennedy, while the reverse displays the presidential coat of arms. Although millions were produced, collectors continue to examine these coins carefully because even a common issue can occasionally reveal something unexpected, such as a dramatic mint error or an exceptionally well-preserved example. If you discover a 2023 with D. Kennedy $half, inspect it under bright lighting. Look closely at the lettering, the date, the mint mark, the rim, and both sides of the coin. Also watch for off-center strikes, doubled features, clipped planchets, die cracks, or other genuine mint errors. These are the kinds of characteristics that can make one coin stand apart from millions of others. Avoid cleaning the coin, as cleaning can permanently affect its surface and reduce its appeal to collectors. Now comes the moment everyone has been waiting for. The valuation mentioned for this particular example is a claimed value of $25,000, not a generally established market value for an ordinary 2023 with D. Kennedy $half. Actual value depends on professional authentication, condition, verified mint errors, grading, rarity, and documented auction results. Coins with truly exceptional characteristics can attract strong interest from serious collectors, but every example should be evaluated individually. The biggest lesson from this coin is simple: never assume a modern coin is automatically ordinary. Every Kennedy $half deserves a careful look because collecting is built on knowledge, patience, and attention to detail. You never know when a coin that most people overlook could turn out to be an interesting collectible. If you're enjoying today's countdown, don't forget to subscribe to Hidden Coin Millions and turn on notifications. We bring you freshly updated videos every day, sharing remarkable US coins, collecting stories, and practical tips to help you become a more informed collector. The next Kennedy $half in today's countdown could reveal an even more surprising discovery, so stay with us until the very end. Coin number 3. The excitement keeps building because we're moving to another Kennedy $half that many people would never stop to examine. At first glance, this 1990 Kennedy $half with the Philadelphia P issue looks like an ordinary circulated coin. Its gray surface, dark edge on the reverse, and years of use make it seem like nothing more than pocket change. But seasoned collectors know something that most people don't. Sometimes the most overlooked coins are the ones that deserve the closest inspection. Every scratch, every mark, and every layer of natural aging tells part of a story that has unfolded for more than 3 decades. The 1990 Kennedy $half was struck to continue one of America's most recognized coin series, honoring President John F. Kennedy. Produced in a copper-nickel-clad composition over a pure copper core, the coin weighs approximately 11.34 grams and measures 30.6 millimeters in diameter. The obverse features the iconic portrait of President Kennedy, while the reverse proudly displays the presidential coat of arms. Although millions were minted, collectors continue to search these coins because certain examples with genuine mint errors, outstanding strike quality, or exceptional certified grades can attract much stronger collector interest than ordinary pieces. This particular circulated example carries a gray layer across much of its surface, while the reverse shows darker coloration along the edge. Such appearance is often the result of years of circulation, storage conditions, or natural environmental exposure rather than proof of rarity by itself. Experienced collectors understand that color alone does not determine value, but it can encourage a more careful inspection. They examine every letter, every number in the date, the mint characteristics, the rim, and the overall strike to determine whether something unusual sets the coin apart from typical examples. One reason Kennedy half dollars remain so popular is that collectors never stop looking for hidden surprises. A coin that appears completely ordinary can sometimes reveal doubled details, die cracks, off-center strikes, clipped planches, or other genuine mint errors. Others become desirable because they survive in exceptional condition despite their age. The excitement comes from knowing that every coin deserves a closer look before anyone decides it is just another common half dollar. If you come across a 1,990 Kennedy half dollar, examine it under bright light and use magnification whenever possible. Compare it with known examples, pay close attention to the lettering, the portrait, the eagle, and the rim, and never clean the coin. Cleaning can permanently change the original surfaces and may reduce collector appeal. Proper storage in a protective holder is always the best choice if you believe your coin has unusual characteristics worth preserving. Now comes the reveal that many viewers have been waiting for. The valuation mentioned for this specific example is a claimed value of $87,000, not a generally established market value for an ordinary circulated 1,990p Kennedy half dollar. The actual value of any individual coin depends on professional authentication, condition, verified mint errors, certification, rarity, and documented auction results. A truly exceptional example can generate significant collector interest, but each coin must be evaluated on its own merits. The most important lesson from this Kennedy half dollar is never to judge a coin solely by its appearance. Even a circulated modern coin can be historically interesting and worth examining carefully. Knowledge, patience, and careful observation are the tools that every successful collector relies upon. If you're enjoying today's countdown of remarkable Kennedy half dollars, make sure you subscribe to Hidden Coin Millions and turn on notifications. We bring you freshly updated videos every day, exploring fascinating US coins, collecting insights, and hidden stories that every coin enthusiast will enjoy. Stay with us, because the next coin in today's countdown could reveal an even more surprising discovery. Coin number 4. As our countdown continues, the mystery grows even deeper. This next coin is one that many people have probably held in their hands without ever realizing it deserved a second look. The 1,974 Kennedy half dollar with no mint mark, struck at the Philadelphia Mint, has become a fascinating coin for collectors who enjoy searching for hidden details. At first glance, its black and brown spots, darkened edges, and circulated appearance may make it seem like nothing more than an old coin that has seen decades of everyday use. But experienced collectors know that some of the most interesting discoveries begin with coins that look completely ordinary. The 1,974 Kennedy half dollar represents another chapter in the continuing story of one of America's most recognizable coin series. Introduced in 1964 to honor President John F. Kennedy, the Kennedy half dollar quickly became an iconic piece of U.S. coinage. The 1974 issue was struck in a copper-nickel-clad composition over a pure copper core, weighs approximately 11.34 grams, and measures 30.6 millimeters in diameter. The obverse proudly features the portrait of President Kennedy, while the reverse displays the presidential coat of arms, a design admired by collectors for generations. This particular coin carries years of natural wear, showing black and brown toning across the surface and darker coloration on the reverse and along the rim. While these color changes are commonly caused by circulation, storage, or environmental exposure, and do not by themselves make a coin rare, they often encourage knowledgeable collectors to inspect the coin more carefully. Every surface mark tells part of the coin's journey through history, making each surviving example unique in its own way. One reason collectors remain excited about Kennedy half dollars is the possibility of finding genuine mint errors or exceptional examples. Specialists carefully examine coins for doubled dies, off-center strikes, die cracks, clipped planches, missing clad layers, unusual strike quality, or coins preserved in outstanding certified condition. These characteristics, not ordinary circulation marks, are the kinds of features that can make one coin significantly more desirable than another. If you happen to find a 1974 Kennedy half dollar in an old collection, inherited box, or forgotten coin jar, take a few moments to inspect it carefully. Use bright lighting and, if possible, a magnifying glass. Look closely at the date, lettering, rim, portrait, and reverse design. Never clean the coin, even if it appears dirty. Cleaning can permanently damage the original surfaces and may reduce collector appeal. Proper storage in a protective holder is always the safest approach until the coin can be evaluated by a knowledgeable collector or professional grading service. Now it's time for the reveal. The valuation mentioned for this specific example is a claimed value of $145,000, not a generally established market value for an ordinary circulated 1974 Kennedy half dollar with no mint mark. The actual value of any coin depends on professional authentication, certified condition, verified mint errors or varieties, rarity, and documented auction results. Coins with exceptional characteristics can attract considerable interest from advanced collectors, but every example must be judged individually. The real treasure in coin collecting is knowing what to look for before everyone else does. A Kennedy half dollar that most people overlook could still be historically interesting or worthy of expert examination. Knowledge, patience, and careful observation are what separate experienced collectors from casual coin holders. If you're enjoying today's countdown of remarkable Kennedy half dollars, be sure to subscribe to Hidden Coin Millions and turn on notifications. We bring you freshly updated videos every day, exploring fascinating US coins, hidden collecting stories, and practical tips to help you become a more informed collector. Stay with us until the end, because the next coin in today's countdown could reveal an even more surprising story. Coin number 5. The countdown keeps getting more intense, and this next Kennedy half dollar proves that age alone never tells the whole story. At first glance, this 1992 Kennedy half dollar with the Denver D mint mark appears to be nothing more than an old circulated coin. Black spots cover portions of the surface, green dots have developed over time, and the reverse displays green and brown discoloration that reflects decades of storage and circulation. Most people would overlook a coin like this in seconds, but experienced collectors know that every Kennedy half dollar deserves a closer examination before it is dismissed. The Kennedy half dollar has remained one of the most collected modern U.S. coin series since its introduction in 1964, created to honor President John F. Kennedy. The design quickly became an American classic. By 1992, the coin continued to be struck in a copper-nickel-clad composition bonded to a pure copper core. It weighs approximately 11.34 grams and measures 30.6 millimeters in diameter. The obverse features the distinguished portrait of President Kennedy, while the reverse proudly displays the presidential coat of arms, a design recognized by collectors throughout the United States. This particular 1992 with D example shows years of natural wear. The black spots, green toning, and darker colors on the reverse are generally signs of long-term circulation or environmental exposure. These characteristics by themselves do not make a coin rare, but they often encourage collectors to inspect the coin more carefully. A knowledgeable collector never judges a coin by color alone. Instead, they examine the strike quality, lettering, mint mark, rim, and overall preservation while searching for genuine mint errors or unusual varieties. One of the reasons Kennedy half dollars continue to fascinate collectors is that surprising discoveries still happen. Some examples reveal doubled dies, die cracks, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, missing clad layers, or other authentic mint errors. Others become highly desirable because they survive in exceptional certified condition. The excitement of coin collecting comes from knowing that a careful inspection can sometimes uncover something that thousands of people have overlooked. If you discover a 1992 with D. Kennedy half dollar, handle it carefully by its edges and avoid cleaning it. Even if the surface appears dirty or heavily toned, cleaning can permanently alter the original finish and reduce collector appeal. Instead, inspect the coin under bright lighting, use magnification if available, compare it with reliable reference images, and consider professional authentication if you notice unusual characteristics that could indicate a genuine mint error or an exceptionally well-preserved specimen. Now comes the moment that has been building throughout this story. The valuation mentioned for this specific example is a claimed value of $85,500, not a generally established market value for an ordinary circulated 1992 with D. Kennedy half dollar. The true value of any coin depends on professional grading, authentication, verified mint errors or varieties, rarity, condition, and documented auction results. Coins with extraordinary characteristics can attract significant collector interest, but each example must be evaluated individually before assigning a market value. The greatest treasure in coin collecting is not simply finding an old coin, it's developing the knowledge to recognize when a coin deserves a second look. Every Kennedy half dollar has a story, and sometimes that story leads to an exciting discovery that keeps collectors searching year after year. If you're enjoying today's countdown, don't forget to subscribe to Hidden Coin Millions and turn on notifications. We bring you freshly updated videos every day, sharing remarkable US coins, fascinating collecting stories, and practical tips that help you become a smarter and more confident collector. Stay with us, because the next Kennedy half dollar in today's countdown could reveal an even more surprising discovery than anything you've seen so far. Coin number 6. The countdown is becoming even more exciting, and coin number 6 is another Kennedy half dollar that deserves a careful look before anyone decides it's just another ordinary piece of pocket change. This 1981 Kennedy half dollar with the Philadelphia SP issue has traveled through decades of American history. Its black and brown spots, gray layer on the reverse, and fine circulated condition give it the appearance of a coin that has seen years of everyday use. While many people would ignore it because of its worn appearance, experienced collectors understand that the real story often lies beneath the surface. Every mark tells a chapter of its journey, and every detail deserves a closer inspection. The Kennedy half dollar has remained one of the most recognizable coins produced by the United States Mint since its introduction in 1964 to honor President John F. Kennedy. The 1981 issue continues this historic tradition, featuring the familiar portrait of President Kennedy on the obverse and the presidential coat of arms on the reverse. The coin was struck in a copper nickel-clad composition, bonded to a pure copper core, weighs approximately 11.34 grams and measures 30.6 millimeters in diameter. Its timeless design and historical significance continue to make the Kennedy half dollar one of the most popular modern U.S. coin series among collectors. This particular 1981 with P example displays black and brown spotting on the obverse along with a gray-toned reverse that reflects years of circulation and environmental exposure. These types of color changes are commonly the result of natural aging, storage conditions, or oxidation and do not by themselves indicate rarity or increase value. However, collectors know that unusual surface characteristics can be a reason to inspect the coin more closely for genuine mint errors, striking anomalies, or other collectible features that are not immediately visible. One of the most exciting aspects of collecting Kennedy half dollars is that remarkable discoveries still happen today. Collectors carefully examine every detail of the coin, searching for doubled dies, die cracks, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, missing clad layers, dramatic strike errors, or exceptionally well-preserved examples. These are the characteristics that can make a particular coin stand apart from millions of ordinary pieces. Knowledge and patience are often the greatest tools in uncovering hidden collectibles. If you come across a 1981 with P. Kennedy half dollar, inspect it under bright lighting and use magnification whenever possible. Look closely at the date, the lettering, the mint characteristics, the portrait, the eagle, and the rim. Compare your coin with reliable reference images and avoid cleaning it, even if it appears dirty or heavily toned. Cleaning can permanently alter the original surfaces and reduce collector interest. Proper storage in a protective holder is always the best way to preserve any coin that you believe may have collectible characteristics. Now comes the moment you've been waiting for. The valuation mentioned for this specific example is a claimed value of $99,000, not a generally established market value for an ordinary 1981 with P. Kennedy half dollar in circulated condition. The true value of any individual coin depends on professional authentication, certified condition, verified mint errors or varieties, rarity, and documented auction results. Exceptional examples can attract significant collector attention, but each coin must be evaluated on its own merits. The greatest reward in coin collecting isn't simply finding an old coin, it's recognizing when a coin deserves a second look. Every Kennedy half dollar has its own story, and careful observation can lead to fascinating discoveries that many people overlook. Whether you're a beginner or an experienced collector, taking the time to examine your coins carefully is always worthwhile. If you're enjoying today's countdown of remarkable Kennedy half dollars, don't forget to subscribe to Hidden Coin Millions and turn on notifications. We bring you freshly updated videos every day featuring fascinating U.S. coins, hidden collecting stories, and expert collecting tips that help you become a more knowledgeable coin enthusiast. Keep watching, because the next Kennedy half dollar in today's countdown may reveal an even bigger surprise. Coin number 7. The countdown is becoming more intense with every coin. And coin number 7 reminds us why Kennedy half dollars continue to fascinate collectors across the United States. This 2000 Kennedy half dollar with the Philadelphia P issue may look like an ordinary modern coin at first glance. Its gray-tone surface, scattered dots, and darker edges on the reverse suggest years of handling and storage. Many people would simply spend it without another thought, but experienced collectors know that modern coins can still hold surprises worth investigating. The real excitement comes from looking beyond the surface and discovering what makes one coin different from thousands of others. The Kennedy half dollar has been one of America's most recognizable coins since its debut in 1964 in honor of President John F. Kennedy. By the year 2000, the series had already become a favorite among collectors because of its historical significance and the possibility of finding unusual varieties or exceptional examples. The 2000p issue was struck at the Philadelphia Mint using a copper-nickel-clad composition bonded to a pure copper core. It weighs approximately 11.34 grams, measures 30.6 millimeters in diameter, and carries the classic portrait of President Kennedy on the obverse with the presidential coat of arms on the reverse. This particular coin shows a gray layer across portions of the surface with noticeable dots and darker coloration around the reverse edge. These characteristics are generally the result of natural toning, circulation, or environmental exposure and do not by themselves make the coin rare or valuable. However, experienced collectors understand that every unusual-looking coin deserves careful examination. Surface appearance can encourage a closer inspection for genuine mint errors, striking anomalies, or other collectible features that cannot be recognized at a quick glance. Collectors search Kennedy half dollars for a wide variety of characteristics that can make an individual coin stand apart. Genuine double dies, die cracks, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, missing clad layers, rotated dies, or exceptionally preserved certified examples are the kinds of features that often generate collector interest. This is why knowledgeable numismatists inspect every detail carefully instead of making assumptions based solely on age or appearance. If you discover a 2000 with P. Kennedy half dollar, take your time before deciding whether it belongs back in circulation. Examine the lettering, the date, the portrait, the reverse design, and the rim under bright light. Use magnification whenever possible, and compare the coin with trusted reference photographs. Most importantly, never clean the coin. Cleaning can permanently damage its original surfaces and reduce its appeal to collectors. Proper storage in a protective holder is always the safest choice if you believe the coin deserves further evaluation. Now it's time for the reveal. The valuation mentioned for this specific example is a claimed value of $83,000, not a generally established market value for an ordinary circulated 2000 with P. Kennedy half dollar. The actual value of any coin depends on professional authentication, certified condition, verified mint errors or varieties, rarity, and documented auction results. A truly exceptional example may attract serious collector attention, but every coin should be evaluated individually before assigning a market value. The greatest thrill in coin collecting comes from knowledge and patience. Every Kennedy half dollar has a story to tell, and the next exciting discovery may be hiding in a coin that most people would never examine twice. Careful observation is often the first step toward uncovering something truly special. If you're enjoying today's countdown, be sure to subscribe to Hidden Coin Millions and turn on notifications. We bring you freshly updated videos every day featuring remarkable U.S. coins, fascinating collecting stories, and practical tips to help you become a smarter collector. Stay with us until the end, because the final coins in today's countdown may hold the most surprising stories of all. Coin number 8. Now the countdown reaches a truly fascinating chapter. Coin number 8 takes us back to one of the most historically important years in the Kennedy half dollar series. This 1965 Kennedy half dollar, with no mint mark, struck at the Philadelphia Mint, immediately catches the attention of collectors because it comes from the first year after the original 90% silver Kennedy half dollars were discontinued. Although many people see only a circulated coin with grey dots and signs of age, experienced collectors recognize that the 1965 issue occupies a unique place in American numismatic history. Sometimes, a coin's historical significance alone is enough to inspire collectors to examine it much more closely. The year 1965 marked an important transition in United States coinage. Rising silver prices led the U.S. Mint to change the composition of the Kennedy half dollar from the original 90% silver alloy to a 40% silver composition, consisting of an outer layer of 80% silver and 20% copper bonded to an inner core of approximately 21% silver and 79% copper. This composition was used from 1965 through 1970, making these coins especially interesting to collectors who enjoy silver-era Kennedy half dollars. The coin weighs approximately 11.5 grams and features the familiar portrait of President John F. Kennedy on the obverse and the presidential coat of arms on the reverse. This particular example displays grey dots and the wear expected from years of circulation. Such toning and surface changes often develop naturally through decades of handling, storage, and environmental exposure. These characteristics alone do not make the coin rare or valuable, but they can encourage collectors to inspect the coin carefully for other features. Every detail matters, including the strike quality, rim, lettering, and overall preservation, because unusual varieties or genuine mint errors can significantly increase collector interest. Collectors are especially interested in 1965 Kennedy half dollars because they represent the beginning of the 40% silver era. Some enthusiasts search for exceptional certified examples, while others carefully inspect every coin for doubled dies, die cracks, off-center strikes, missing clad layers, or other authentic mint errors. A genuine error or an outstanding condition can make one coin far more desirable than a typical circulated example, which is why experienced numismatists never rely on appearance alone when evaluating a coin. If you discover a 1965 Kennedy half dollar, take a moment to inspect it carefully under bright lighting. Look closely at the date, lettering, portrait, reverse design, and the edge. Since this issue contains silver, many collectors also pay attention to its overall color and weight when authenticating the coin. Never clean the surface, even if the coin appears dull or dirty. Cleaning can permanently alter the original finish and reduce collector appeal. Storing the coin in a protective holder is always the safest choice until it can be properly evaluated. Now it's time for the reveal that has been building throughout this story. The valuation mentioned for this specific example is a claimed value of $198,000, not a generally established market value for an ordinary circulated 1965 Kennedy half dollar. The actual value of any individual coin depends on professional authentication, certified condition, verified mint errors or varieties, rarity, and documented auction results. Truly exceptional examples can attract remarkable attention from advanced collectors, but every coin should be evaluated individually before assigning a market value. The 1965 Kennedy half dollar reminds us that history and careful observation often go hand in hand. A coin that many people overlook today may still hold fascinating historical importance or deserve closer examination for collectible characteristics. Every discovery begins with curiosity, patience, and the willingness to look beyond the obvious. If you're enjoying today's countdown, Don't forget to subscribe to Hidden Coin Millions and turn on notifications. We bring you freshly updated videos every day, exploring remarkable US coins, fascinating collecting stories, and practical tips to help you become a more knowledgeable collector. Stay with us until the very end, because the final two Kennedy half dollars on today's list may contain the most exciting surprises of all. Coin number 9. The countdown is almost at its grand finale, and coin number 9 is another Kennedy half dollar that proves why careful observation is one of the greatest skills a collector can develop. This 1986 Kennedy half dollar with the Denver D mint mark may appear ordinary because of its brown dots, darker edges, and years of circulation. The reverse also shows what looks like a cut or damaged area, making it easy for someone to dismiss it as nothing more than an old, worn coin. But experienced collectors know that every unusual feature deserves a closer inspection before reaching any conclusion. The Kennedy half dollar has remained a symbol of American history since it was first introduced in 1964 to honor President John F. Kennedy. The 1986 with D issue was struck at the Denver Mint, using the standard copper-nickel-clad composition bonded to a pure copper core. It weighs approximately 11.34 grams and measures 30.6 millimeters in diameter. The obverse features the familiar portrait of President Kennedy, while the reverse displays the presidential coat of arms, a design that continues to attract collectors decades after its introduction. This particular coin shows brown spots across portions of the surface, darker toning around the edges, and visible damage or a cut-like mark on the reverse. Brown toning and discoloration commonly develop through years of circulation, storage, or environmental exposure and do not by themselves make a coin rare. Likewise, damage that occurs after a coin leaves the mint generally does not increase its collector value. However, if an unusual-looking feature is suspected to be the result of a genuine minting error rather than post-mint damage, the coin deserves careful examination by an experienced collector or professional grading service. This is one of the reasons Kennedy half dollars continue to excite collectors. Every coin offers the possibility of discovering something unexpected. Specialists examine these coins under magnification, looking for double dies, die cracks, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, missing clad layers, or other verified mint errors. They also evaluate strike quality, original surfaces, and certified condition because these factors can dramatically influence collector demand. The smallest authentic detail can sometimes make all the difference. If you find a 1986 with D Kennedy half dollar, inspect it carefully before making assumptions. Study the date, mint mark, lettering, portrait, reverse design, and rim under bright light. If you notice unusual features that appear to have originated during the minting process, consider having the coin authenticated by a reputable grading service. Avoid cleaning the coin, even if it appears dirty, because cleaning can permanently alter the original surfaces and reduce collector appeal. Proper storage in a protective holder is always the safest way to preserve a potentially collectible coin. Now it's time for today's reveal. The valuation mentioned for this specific example is a claimed value of $96,000, not a generally established market value for an ordinary circulated 1986 with D Kennedy half dollar. The true value of any coin depends on professional authentication, certified condition, verified mint errors or varieties, rarity, and documented auction results. A genuinely exceptional example can attract strong collector interest, but each coin must be evaluated individually before assigning a market value. The lesson from this coin is simple but important. Never assume that every unusual mark tells the same story. Some marks are simply the result of circulation, while others may point to something that deserves expert attention. Developing the ability to recognize that difference is what makes coin collecting both exciting and rewarding. If you're enjoying today's countdown, don't forget to subscribe to Hidden Coin Millions and turn on notifications. We bring you freshly updated videos every day, exploring fascinating US coins, remarkable collecting stories, and practical tips that help you become a more informed collector. Stay tuned, because coin number 10 is next, and it brings the countdown to an unforgettable finish. Coin number 10. We have finally reached coin number 10, the dramatic finale of today's countdown, and what an incredible way to end this journey through some of the most fascinating Kennedy half-dollars collectors continue to search for. This 1966 Kennedy half-dollar with no mint mark struck at the Philadelphia Mint comes from one of the most historic years in the series. At first glance, you may notice only the brown dots on the reverse and the signs of circulation that come with age. Many people would place a coin like this back into a collection or coin jar without another thought. But seasoned collectors know that some of the most historically significant Kennedy half-dollars come from the mid-1960s, and every example deserves a careful examination before anyone decides what it might be. The 1966 Kennedy half-dollar was produced during the special 40% silver era of the series. Following the changes in U.S. coinage after 1964, Kennedy half-dollars minted from 1965 through 1970 contained a 40% silver composition, making them different from the copper-nickel-clad issues produced in later years. This gives the 1966 issue lasting historical importance among collectors. The coin weighs approximately 11.5 grams, has a diameter of 30.6 millimeters, and features the familiar portrait of President John F. Kennedy on the obverse with the presidential coat of arms on the reverse. Because of its silver content and place in American minting history, the 1966 Kennedy half-dollar continues to attract interest from collectors throughout the United States. This particular example shows brown dots on the reverse and remains in fine circulated condition after decades of existence. These color changes are generally the result of natural toning, long-term storage, or environmental exposure, and do not by themselves make a coin rare or especially valuable. However, collectors never stop with surface appearance alone. They carefully inspect every detail, looking for strong strikes, original surfaces, unusual die varieties, and genuine mint errors that can separate one coin from countless ordinary examples. The excitement surrounding Kennedy half-dollars comes from the possibility that an overlooked coin may contain something extraordinary. Specialists carefully examine these coins for double dies, die cracks, clipped planches, off-center strikes, missing clad layers, or other authentic minting errors. They also evaluate the coin's preservation, originality, and professional certification, because these are the factors that truly influence collector demand. Knowledge and careful inspection remain the greatest treasures in the world of coin collecting. If you discover a 1966 Kennedy half-dollar in an old family collection, estate box, coin album, or forgotten jar, don't rush to clean or polish it. Cleaning can permanently damage the original surfaces and reduce collector appeal. Instead, inspect the coin under bright light, compare it with trusted reference examples, and consider professional authentication if you notice characteristics that appear unusual or consistent with a genuine mint error. Preserving the coin in its original condition is always the safest choice. Now comes the final reveal of today's countdown. The valuation mentioned for this specific example is a claimed value of $195,000, not a generally established market value for an ordinary 1,966 Kennedy half-dollar in fine circulated condition. The actual value of any coin depends on professional authentication, certified grade, verified mint errors or varieties rarity, and documented auction results. Truly exceptional examples can attract remarkable collector interest, but each coin must be evaluated individually before assigning a market value. As we conclude today's countdown, remember that the greatest reward in coin collecting isn't simply searching for valuable coins. It's learning how to recognize the details that others overlook. Every Kennedy half-dollar tells a story of American history, craftsmanship, and decades of circulation. Sometimes that story leads to an exciting collectible, and sometimes it simply deepens our appreciation for these remarkable coins. Either way, every discovery begins with curiosity and careful observation. Thank you for joining us on Hidden Coin Millions for today's countdown of the top 10 ultra-rare and most valuable Kennedy half-dollars in today's market. If you enjoyed this journey, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a new upload. We bring you freshly updated videos every day, featuring remarkable U.S. coins, hidden collecting stories, fascinating history, and practical collecting tips. Until our next adventure, keep checking your change, keep exploring old collections, and remember, you never know when an ordinary-looking coin could become your most exciting discovery.